After jumping into the Power 10 for the second time this season, Southridge took care of business on the road at South Spencer this week. And with the win, the Raiders are sure to make another jump in the Home Team Friday Power 10. Southridge head coach Scott Buening joins us now. And Coach, now 5-2 this season, 4-0 in the Pocket Conference Small. You guys are rolling on all cylinders. How are you feeling heading into Week 8?
Well, feeling good. It's this season, our schedule, this area, just tremendously talented. There's a lot of really good players. There's a lot of really good programs and teams. And, we knew going into the season that both our regular season schedule, our PAC schedule, along with our sectional schedule was going to be quite a grind. And it's turned out to be that way to this point. We're very excited, to still have our PAC goal a possibility and have it ahead of us. And we really called these last 4 weeks a PAC tournament, and it's really kind of what it's been. And we're still alive in it, so we're happy about that.
Well, in the 48-12 win over South Spencer this past Friday, your team as a whole rushed for 352 yards and 6 touchdowns. Noah Wright had half of those scores and another 191 yards. On the defensive end, Camden Haywood, 2 interceptions, 2 pass deflections, and a fumble recovery. What's made your team so efficient on both sides of the ball to produce dominant performances like this one?
Well, I really think that the fact that seems to be a different guy each night. When you look at our team as a whole, we really believe that our whole is much greater than our parts. And, we've had different guys step up on different nights, whether it be in the running game, passing game, offensively, defensively. And that's something that, with the teams we have coming up, we need that depth, we need that balance. And it's good to have some guys that, can break an explosive play offensively, and then also, can go out and, make some plays defensively, which both Camden and Noah have done. And, South Spencer, I think they're one of the most improved teams in the area. They played really well, and they've got some really quality wins this year. And, we knew we had our work cut out for us in that game. Brown is he's as good a player as there is in this area. The kid's tremendous, and really thought our guys did a good job.
Well, you talked a lot about the depth that your team has. It could be any guy on any given night. I believe it's 5 players with 250 or more rushing yards, 5 players on the defensive end with 6 or more tackles a game. The depth that this team has. How did you create that over the past couple of seasons?
Well, I think some of it's our system. We run a version of the wing tee, and it's really, I think as I was younger, you were looking for that bell cow, and you just take your best player, feed it to them as much as you could, and didn't have a lot of system to it. When I moved down here and got to Southridge and kept the offense that we had. Brad Ohanian was our offensive coordinator, and so we've evolved it for sure. But one of the things that I really liked about it was the versatility that you have in it in regards to running the ball. We tried to evolve more in the pass and in the passing game, both to help us offensively and defensively. And then so that's a big part of it. But I think a lot of it too is just having a lot of guys that are selfless. They want to win football games, and they want to play for the Raiders. And, those 2 things, that's really probably the main part of all this is, block, run, whatever. Nobody cares how many times they get the ball. Nobody cares about anything other than trying to do what they need to do to help us win a football game. And when you've got kids that take that approach, and the groups before this one have taken that same approach, then, it really gives you a great shot at being successful and having a system that can utilize a lot of guys. And they also know that, they've got a chance to get the ball at any given time. And so, you put all that together with a lot of hard work and just guys that, like I said, are selfless, we think good things can happen.
certainly speaks to the culture that you have helped build over the past dozen years. And in your tenure as head coach, you have learned a lot about what losses do to a team early in the season, in the regular season, should I say, ahead of the postseason. Even back in 2017, in that great year, you had the one loss early in the season, or mid-season, I think, to Gibson Southern. It was a pretty big blowout, too, but you learned from that and you move forward from that. So we know how much a loss can derail your season, but how much can a loss give you confidence, let alone two that you guys have this season, and help you learn ahead of postseason play?
I think you can learn a lot. And, in the game that you referred to at Gibson Southern that we lost in 2017, we actually recalled that game in our sectional championship when we played at Mater Dei. And, when we took some of the lessons we learned from that game and thankfully responded a lot better in the second half than we did in that Gibson Southern game. And, we honestly, the teams we play week in, week out, there's a lot of quality teams there, and it challenged you in many different ways. And it's really forced us, to improve our scheme, yes, but then also, as players to really improve and to push, to get better. And you can't, you're not going to get away with your sins with this schedule, and we talk about that a lot. We'll pay for our sins. And, and you're going to have those, throughout a game and throughout a season. But I think ultimately, you understand that's going to be a part of it, that adversity is going to be a part of it, and, respond appropriately, keep working hard, get better. There's no victims in this game, and go out and be the best you can. And that's what this group has tried to do.
Yeah, how you face adversity as a teenager, right, on a high school team tells a lot about the type of culture that you've built there and a lot about the discipline that these kids have. I want to go macro and micro real quick. Macro would be 3A sectional 32. I mean, it is a gauntlet of teams now with the realignment of the IHSAA sectionals. But micro, we'll come back to that 3A sectional in just a moment. Micro, you're 4-0 in the pocket small with a chance to go 5-0 and most likely, I would say, lock up a conference championship in the pocket small with a win this week over North Posey. How do you get that done, and how are you prepping for the Vikings?
Well, it's sure going to be a lot easier said than done. North Posey, what Coach Shank and his staff have done over there, they've really rekindled a fire, I think, in that community and in that program. They had a lot of tradition and success over the years. They do it the right way. They've gotten in the weight room. They work hard. They coach their kids hard. They have played really well here, continue to get better and better. They just reloaded. Last year they graduated a ton of seniors, had a lot of really good football players. And, when you look at the roster again, they got a ton of seniors again. And those are the guys contributing, and those are the guys that they're winning with. And, I think, ultimately it starts with Jed Galvin. The kid, he's rewritten their record books and just continues. When you watch him on film, you just see all the amazing things he does. They use him in a lot of different ways, and he's just a tremendously good football player. He seems like an eighth-year senior, so we're glad he's finally graduating. It's not just him. It's their offensive line. It's their secondary defense across the board. They just have a lot of things that they do very, very well, and we know what we're up against, and we know we've got our work cut out for us, but we are excited for the opportunity.
Well, in 2 weeks, we'll start sectional play in Indiana, and the 3A sectional 32 is what we like to call a gauntlet. I'm sure when that first came out and the changing of the realignment of the sectionals, you probably sat up at night staring at the ceiling thinking, how in the world am I going to get through to the regional round? Currently, 7 of the top 25 teams in 3A are in that sectional. 3 of the top 5, including Memorial, Heritage Hills, and Mater Dei in the top 5 there, that 3A sectional. How do you face the new challenge now of the realignment?
Well, honestly, the same way that we would take on any other challenge. We've got, first of all, we've got 2 weeks here that we've got a lot of work to do, and we've got North Posey, the PAC, and then our county rival, Forest Park, who's had a really good season as well. We've got them coming up. And then, you turn to the sectional, and, we won't change anything we do. We prepare as hard as we can week in and week out. We prepare all year, to be the best team we can possibly be. We know there's going to be quite a challenge ahead of us. And I think, everybody in this sectional is looking at it with, maybe a path they feel like to winning it. And also an understanding that, good Lord, you're going to have to be really good for 3 weeks to do it. And, and so that's, with great challenge comes great opportunity. And there's just no other way to look at it. And that's, I think, for competitors, you get excited about those opportunities. And we're not, our focus isn't there yet, but it is something we'll be excited for.
Have you thought about what you're going to do the night of the draw? Are you going to sit back and not look at it? You're going to go out there hunting and fishing? Like what's the deal for you guys?
We used to get together and do some things. A lot of us are getting pretty old, so it's starting to creep into our bedtimes a little bit, and so we'll all watch it, and everybody will probably have a bunch of text messages flying around shortly after it's over, and it is always exciting, to see what does the rest of your season look like, what's that path look like, and so it is an exciting night. It's we're excited for it, just to see how the path's going to play out, and then we'll frankly do what everybody else is going to do, and get started, get working on week 9, and then get ready for the tournament.
The treacherous gauntlet that is the 3A Sectional 32. That's head coach Scott Buening of the Southridge Raiders, now 5-2, looking to go 6-2 against North Posey this week. Coach, thanks for coming on.
All right, thanks for having us.